It's good afternoon now, and I'm really very enthralled and enlightened. You just heard a very scholarly legal discourse by Professor Vivekananda, and many facets of Constitution which I was not aware of. I was thoroughly educated. The 26th November, why is it so significant as Lord Day or as Constitutional Day? The preamble was read out to all of you, and each one of us, one by one, all the things we repeated. And the Constitutional Assembly, this 26th of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. But there are very many fundamental questions which I would like to raise as a legislator. I have been 3 times a legislator. And once I heard Professor Madhav Menon saying that law governs human conduct from the cradle to the crematorium, and rightly so, from the birth certificate to the death certificate, and then subsequent legal proceedings to as a certificate of succession and whatnot. So everywhere law governs our human conduct. But is law really necessary? I think when this legislation had not taken effect, when this Constitution had not come into being, there was more peace. People lived happily in bliss. The more the legislation took place, the more the enactments took place, our peace has been robbed somewhere. Litigation has cost this nation very heavily. You may attribute to legislature's incompetence, or if you might say so, in 1949, this country's population was, as told by Professor Vijay Kumar, was around 40 crores, 35, 40 crores. Now it's 140 crores, 1.4 billion population. Was the preamble to the Constitution meant for that mass of population, or is it meant for the whole country? Because if you take out two-third chunk of the population, they are unaware of the obligations and the corresponding duties with the fundamental rights. We all talk about our rights. We don't talk about the fundamental duties, corresponding duties with it. So each one of us swear by the Constitution, and as we file the nomination, as we get sworn in as a legislator, each time you swear by the Constitution. But does it really mean to us in our day-to-day life? And how much of adherence is there? This country has miserably failed to create responsible citizenship. What it lacks terribly, and vast magnitude of Indians, they know not what the law of the land is. Now legal education, legal aid clinics, and so on and so forth, call it by any parlance, but I think as something which I really many times ponder over as to how a common man who is the tiller of the land, you have seen the farmers' agitation and the legislation coming into effect, and then now it's being reversed, and how many times Constitution has been amended, and the amendments have been with the ulterior motive. There are scholars here, and with the induction of Dr. Subbarao here, Even my neighbors have learned how to amend a constitution and how to interpret the constitution. Even the neighborhood has known now, sir. After he has started talking constitution in a high way, decibel high, marks, people have learnt now how to interpret the constitution. Every gentleman living in my neighborhood knows that there is a constitutional expert and how to interpret the constitution. So that's the benefit that we have derived from Professor Subbarao's scholarly lectures here. And I personally feel that today is the Constitution Day. I wish this awareness about the Constitution and its preamble and the fundamental duties is known to each and every one who lives in deprivation and poverty. During the COVID pandemic, we have seen millions of people walking on foot, barefoot, going back to their homes, and no one to fend for them, no one to look after them, no cognizance is taken by the Supreme Court. If it's taken very casually. No social obligation. So, on many accounts, we have failed this Constitution. 390 members of the Constituent Assembly, they legislated, they deliberated upon, they had interacted with the people, and then after due deliberations, they enacted the Constitution. But after Constitution has come into work on 26th January 1950, not much has been done to enrich it. People have, parliament after parliaments have tried to weaken it. And now I don't know, with scholars like Professor Vivekananda and Professor Krishnadeva Rao, how can we produce better parliamentarians? And the institution of the chief whip in the Legislative Assembly and the Parliament is dubbing the parliamentary initiative. I went to one of the parliamentary committees as a legislator, and till the 9th Parliament, only 9 members of the Parliament were able to see that the bills drafted by them could find a place in the statute book. Only 9 members of Parliament. When the nationalization of banks bill came, it was piloted by a private member, and when this bill came before the Parliament, the Treasury bench, the leader of the Treasury bench at the time, Mrs. Indira Gandhi was there, she said, we are going to bring a more comprehensive bill. In the name of the comprehensive bill, we are killing the parliamentary initiative of the new members of Parliament who are brilliant, who are scholarly, who are learned people, and they have labored hard to draft a bill through public consultation and have raised burning issues. But unfortunately, they enjoy all the perks and benefits of being a member of Parliament, the privileges bestowed upon them, but they do not really mean anything to the Indian people. So, the teachers today, there's a enormous challenge that we as teachers have to discharge by educating more and more law students that they need to reach out to the have-nots, to the people who have been deprived of the benefits of the Constitution that was enacted in 1949, which came into force in 26th of January 1950. I owe a deep sense of gratitude to Professor Vivekananda, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the National School, Bangalore, and Professor Krishnadeva Rao, for whom I have great fondness because he has been here in Delhi as the Registrar of the National Law School, Delhi, and now he is the Vice Chancellor. So it's a twice blessed thing for me, to see him on an exalted chair as a Vice Chancellor. So thank you so much indeed, and because law is, we as an institute we started initially with two programs. That was law, and law, let me share with you a little bit of memory. My father was a law graduate from Delhi University, and then he qualified the Punjab Judicial Service, and he had to learn Gurumukhi essay writing, and with a great difficulty he could secure 120 marks out of 150 marks in Gurumukhi essay writing. Then he was offered as a judicial. Then his posting was supposed to take place in Punjab, but then government of Delhi, where he was working already, he was requested by the Lieutenant Governor that you better stay in Delhi because we have gained so much of wisdom from your, from your opinions, legal opinions. So he was looking after legislative wing and the legal opinion wing, and government, wherever the government sought legal opinion, his opinion was upheld. Even the secretary's opinion was not. And Mrs. Mudgil is here. Mrs. Manju Goyal was supposed to come in his place, but then the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi said he is a very learned man. We would like to keep him as the Joint Secretary, and then Mrs. Manju Goyal, one section, we met together, and she could come to know that we are also equally value-based people. So she said, no, I don't regret Mr. Sharma having been there as a Joint Secretary. So the law, the School of Law was founded, in fact, in memory of my father. And the ancestral home that belonged to him is a very highly emotive thing. I said, it's better, whatever house he has given to us, we better dedicate it in his memory and raise a good law school. And ever since that time, we have been improved upon, and every time, now we have completed 21 years, and out of 21 years, hardly 2-3 times that we missed a gold medal at the university. Otherwise, each time, I think 18, 19 gold medals in 21 years of our affiliation with the IP University. So it's highly emotive, and the law is very near to my heart, and that's why I said to Sunita, I said, you better start taking interest. I'm aging now, and after a certain age, 75 years is almost like getting a distinction out of 100. So if you say Shatayu, तो आप जीवित रहे, तो Shatayu maybe 75 years is a good distinction. I've lived enough, and now the better has to be passed on to the next generation. So things have got to be done by him. Professor Venkata Rao has really been a voracious reader and prolific writer. And as and when I've seen him, and he sent me a few links to the YouTube and many other very interesting, enlightening articles he keeps sending me. And at my age, I'm able to cope up with him. He is much younger to me. I think by 9 years, he's younger to me. But still, I catch up with him. I try to catch up with him, and it's always very refreshing to read his articles and many of the things that he sends, words of wisdom. I've been immensely benefited by that. So to the two honorable guests, we are completely COVID compliant. We have a very less number of students. We have almost 480 students. In take yearly, 180 in BBA and another 300 in BB, LLB. So we have 480 students strength, and we could have been a very large number to welcome you here. Next time when you come, hopefully things are better and the pandemic's effect has been lessened, and then we'll give you a very rousing welcome, which perhaps I'm missing, that when the honorable guests come, they must have a feel of a school which is exuberant and which is all full of enthusiasm. Thank you so much. I thank the faculty, honorable faculty members, and everybody else for making this occasion. And having signed this MOU, a great responsibility is cast on us, that we keep pace with the national schools, because they are the centers of excellence. And we have to excel each time, we have to compete. No one can rest on one's laurels. One has to keep improvising over things. One has to better up upon one's performance. And so also each year, It's a competition within ourselves. So thank you very much, and I'm so beholden to both of you for your august presence here. We really feel very, very beholden to you, very, very moved. I'm really touched and moved. And what a scholarly speech which I heard with rapt attention, Professor Vinay Kumar and Professor Krishnadevara speaks less, but he acts like, I mean, he was telling like the talent. I have never seen him, that part of it I haven't seen. I have seen him as a very, very, very learned person and a very, very highly learned person. So thank you very much. Thank you.